In today's episode of the Motorhome Matt podcast,
we find out the best apps to use on your motorhome trips.
In the news, we have a new partnership at That Leisure Shop.
And we answer your questions on warranty cover for windows, charging starter batteries, external barbecue points, and we'll be revealing your embarrassing campervan confessions.
Welcome to the Motorhome Matt podcast. I'm Keith Gooden.
And I'm Motorhome Matt.
Industry insights and expert advice for the world of motorhomes, caravans and campervans. And it's brought to you by thatleisureshop.com and sponsored by Ripe.
Now, we always ask you to do this, but please do. If you're listening, please follow on your favourite podcast app, or watching on YouTube, make sure you click subscribe and that little bell.
And today we're talking about apps, applications, those little pictures on your phone when you look at your smartphone. But first, we're going back to old school print. That Leisure Shop has partnered with Vicarious Books. You're the new distributor, aren't you?
Indeed, yes, we are. In fact, I've got some samples of the books here. They are famous for this book, Go Motorhoming Europe. Vicarious as a publisher had been around for years, and the guys wanted to just go off and travel more.
Yeah.
So all the fulfillment was a problem because that meant they had to stay in the UK. So they've given it to us. Oh. So we at That Leisure Shop have all the stock, and we are the fulfillment house for these wonderful books. This one's great. France Passion. This has been around a long time. When you buy one of these, you get a membership card, and you can go touring France and touring vineyards and staying in them. This is a brilliant guidebook to finding destinations with a difference in France.
Zut alors.
Zut alors, indeed. And these two are sold as a pair. Road Trip Europe, Go Dutch, and The Best of Belgium. These are brilliant guides if you're heading there. And then this one, oh, we love this.
Ooh.
All the Airs in France. This is the guidebook for all the airs, literally, in France. So an air is like a campsite, but there's very low cost. You can't get all your kit and caboodle out. It's an overnight stopover, and it comes with a map as well. So a really, really good book. They're all now available to buy on thatleisureshop.com. So go and head there, and you'll find an amazing array of books, including everything from Vicarious. Dead proud to be partnering with them. Thank you to Vicarious.
Incredibly airy. No motorhome mamas and caravan cuties?
That's a different shop.
Motorhome
mamas. It's time for our regular show feature here on the Motorhome Matt podcast, and I'm joined by the lovely Peter Vaughan. Welcome back.
Thank you.
This week we are heading to Norfolk for the Norfolk Motorhome and Campervan show,
which is also our out and about live summer party.
Now this is a very different type of show.
It is more family friendly.
Yes, there is loads going on, isn't there?
Yeah.
Even we've got the usual things like the trade area, hundreds of motorhomes and campervans for sale, lots of accessories.
Yes.
Yeah. But we've also got the big top.
Yep, lots going on in there.
Live music in there. We've got axe throwing, archery, paintball.
Yoga?
Yeah, are you going to do the yoga?
No, I don't think so.
Why not?
I don't know.
Be Frank are with us as well, back at this show, doing their exercise classes in the Big Top every morning. So come and check out Tom and Amy. They'll get you limbered up every day. You're going to be in the exercise class?
I think I'm more likely to be at Van Life Eats.
Okay, with Mark.
Yeah.
So Mark's there as well, doing cooking demonstrations all weekend. There is so much going on.
And for subscribers, we have an out and about live camping area.
You've got your own camping area.
Well, not me personally.
It's the Peter Vaughan Camp Out. Come and camp with Peter. He's cooking breakfast, lunch and dinner for thousands of you.
So. Even my kids won't eat what I cook.
You'll be in a hotel somewhere, won't you?
Don't tell everybody.
So yeah, there is a subscriber to Out and About Live camping area as well.
And of course, we've got the Advice Centre.
My favourite highlight of the show, where I'll be based all weekend. And tonight, Matthew, I will be Eamon Andrews, because we are going to do a This Is Your Life, Peter Vaughan. We are going to visit
about, my 40-odd years of testing motorhomes.
So your career and how the motorhome industry has changed.
Yeah.
Because you've seen so many changes, haven't you, through the 40 years and decades that you've been doing
I remember 70 horsepower petrol engines and no power steering.
You've still got one. And that's planned for the Saturday, so stay tuned for exactly when that is. That's going to be something not to miss. And then, of course, throughout the weekend, there's live music. We've got disco anthems going on. There's music every day from
Female
Thursday.
tribute acts.
Yeah, Queens of the 90s.
Exactly.
It's a real party atmosphere, and a silent disco with Caravan Radio.
And you'll be able to take a trip on the Norfolk Broads.
Yeah, that's right. There's
always
limited
fancy
spaces.
that.
It's fantastic. A must do. So limited spaces for that trip. So book early. Now this event is the 17th to the 19th of July at the Norfolk Showground, and it is just £94.50 for 4 nights of camping, live music, the trade show, and everything else going on throughout the weekend.
That's
They're great
a bargain,
value.
isn't
Yeah,
it?
it absolutely is. Day tickets are also available. £10 if you pre-book, or £15 on the day. And don't forget, there is a discount code, Motorhome Matt, when you book on your day tickets. So we very much look forward to seeing you there. You can find out about all of Warner's shows. Just head to mhmp.info/Warners. So Peter, thanks for joining me. I will see you in Norfolk.
See you in Norfolk.
It's the Motorhome Matt podcast with me, Keith Gooden.
Uh,
Um,
And me, Motorhome Matt.
Today we're talking applications, apps, as they are known. The young people call them these days. When you got your smartphone and you've got those little pictures and you press it, it takes you straight to a computer program. They're very handy. And a lot of people, they don't like this mobile stuffery. Do you know what I mean?
All right, Dad.
Well, they don't. They don't. And you've got a whole generation of people who were brought up without it and maybe didn't use it at work and aren't computer literate. And, we've got to take account of some of them.
Well, it's true. And increasingly, guidebooks are becoming apps. That is true.
Yeah,
Yes.
you've got to know how to use them and use them well.
You do.
And they are fantastic things, incidentally. I use them all the time. Okay, first of all, we've got quite a list here, actually. So bear with us, but we're going to zoom and weave our way through them to give you the best options. Are these ones you've handpicked?
Yes, indeed. And at the end, we will give you a link or details of a link where you can go and download this list for yourself, completely free of charge. And you can get a list of all the apps we're talking about here and a few others as well. So let's start with navigation and route planning. This is always a big one. And the biggest challenge with SatNav is you can't put the dimensions of your motorhome in it. However, there is an app for your phone. It's called Copilot, and it's great for motorhome-specific touring, because you can put your dimensions in, including your weight, and it will then try to avoid those narrow roads with grass up the middle.
Yeah, grass up the middle. You don't want grass up the middle.
Well, they get narrow. But
There's a book about that. When you measure your motorhome, do you measure it wing mirror to wing mirror?
I would, yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, if you do that, you're going to restrict even more roads. I tend to go somewhere around the middle of the mirror because I'm relying on it's probably going to be hedgerows. So if the mirrors rub on the hedges, it's not a problem. Copilot is brilliant. There's a free trial, but it's a paid-for subscription. It does, like many of these apps, though, you're using it while you're travelling, it's draining your battery fast. That's my big criticism of Copilot. But it is very good.
Yeah, make sure it's fully charged, or you can charge it when you're actually
or plugged in while you're using it.
toddling along.
Yeah.
Google Maps. So
Easy,
this
yeah.
is usually free on most phones, isn't it? And is pretty brilliant, isn't it?
It is. So it's great for live traffic reports. So the roads go red when there's a slow up ahead. We use it a lot for zooming in on campsites or zooming in to find a campsite. So we just look for a destination that we're planning to visit, and then we start looking around and we're looking at car parks. So it's a great way of checking out lay-bys and car parks and how spacious are they. If we're towing our trailer, we need to know that the pub, if we're going to use a pub stop, has got a suitably sized car park so we can get in it and turn around, and more the point, get out. So Google Maps is great for that, and as you say, it's free.
Absolutely free. So it's usually just loaded as standard on your phone.
Yeah.
Waze, W-A-Z-E. What's that one all about?
Have you used Waze?
I haven't, no.
It's brilliant. So you can't put your vehicle dimensions in this, and the same with Google. Hopefully one day you will be able to. Waze, again, drains your battery, but I use it all the time as my sat-nav. It's really good at detecting blockages on the road. So, if there's traffic ahead, roadworks and so on. It tells you if there's police coming up or speed cameras. If there's a vehicle on the hard shoulder, it warns you that's coming. It asks you to confirm that it's still there. And you spot other Wazers, and you can click on them and send
Wazers?
them to... Yeah, we're all Wazers. And you can send them a 2 and you can get points. There's no prizes. But after a journey, it will say, thank you, your journey today helped 128 other Wazers. It's brilliant. So I use it all the time as a sat-nav.
Okay, that's some of the apps for navigation and route planning. Let's now concentrate on campsites and stopovers. And one of your favourites heads the list, Matt.
Yes, BritStops. These guys are Motorhome Matt approved. We use this all the time. It gives you a list of over 1,300 destinations where you can camp up for free. And the expectation is, for example, a pub, you will go in and spend some money behind the bar. Have a drink or maybe a meal. We do this a lot. The problem is you turn a free stopover into £155 night out because we love going to really nice foodie restaurants and pubs. But we have stayed in loads of them. We were recently at the Saracen's Head in Stafford. Big grassy car park out the rear. There was a tarmacked area as well. Really lovely pub, great food. And it was possible on the Wednesday night, 2 burgers and a bottle of red wine for 36 quid. That's cheaper than a campsite. And we stayed the night. So staying over was free. There was a little llama farm next door, loads of space.
A llama farm?
Yeah, it was great. That was our neighbours.
What were the burgers made out of?
Well, I assume they were beef. But I didn't opt for the burger. Jude did. I had a steak and it was lovely. And even then, the 2 of us eating with a bottle of red was, I think, 70 quid. And so really good value, and we stayed the night with no rush to leave in the morning. We left about 10:30 a.m. Brilliant. But BritStops are great for this. And yeah, you can find a pub yourself, ring them up and ask if they've got a car park. But if they're on BritStops, you know they're going to be good. And there's loads of reviews.
They've done all the heavy lifting for you.
And when we go to a BritStop, we leave photos of the car park, the access, and details. It was flat. And if you've not got levelling ramps, then that's useful to know.
And is this free or do you have to pay for it?
BritStops is a charge for app, but if you head to mhmp.info/BritStops, one word, there is currently a 30% discount on offer from them. So it's really low value. You'll save your money in one night stopover.
That's mhmp.info/BritStops, MHMP Motorhome Matt podcast, you see. 30% off, that's worth having. Park for Night is another application. Tell us about that.
So this is great for lesser known stopovers. So maybe small car parks, lay-bys, and it's driven by a community. So we all contribute the stopover. So it's community-led. It's a French app, French background, but they have loads of places in the UK. In fact, down the road from our house, there is a little car park with a bench with a lovely view of the valley we live in. And someone put it on Park for Night. And now we've got 4 or 5 campervans in there regularly. Now, I have to say, it's very rare that people leave mess, which is great. But it's a brilliant place to go and find a stopover that it probably won't have any facilities. It is just going to be a car park, but it's all community driven. Really, really good. And it's free with an optional premium. There is an option on there now where you can actually pre-book. So if there's a limit of 5 people can stay, you can pre-book one of those spots.
And that's one of the premium things.
Yeah, it's a really good feature.
Yeah. Search for sites.
Again, this has been around a while, owned now by the same people that own BritStops, Harvest Hosts in the US. But this is a great way of finding CLs and CSs, so certified locations and certified sites. These are campsites which have a maximum 5 pitches. They probably have running water and a means of dumping toilet waste. And they're owned and run by the 2 big clubs. CLs are Caravan and Motorhome Club. CSs are Camping and Caravan Club. And they're often in an area of outstanding natural beauty. And big pitches, usually very, very quiet. So if you just want basic facilities and a lovely location, these are great. But Search for Sites has loads of sites all over it. We use it all the time. So it's brilliant for finding campsites. And again, it's free with an optional premium.
And when you say about dumping waste, you mean dumping waste responsibly, of course, don't you?
Of course,
yes.
And when I say waste, I mean toilet waste.
Yeah.
So stuff that needs to go into a septic tank or into a sewer.
Camper Contact, what's that all about?
So this is a great app for finding heirs in Europe and motorhome stopovers. It's a place where all the heirs are listed. So you can buy a book like the one from Vicarious, which is a brilliant resource to have, especially if you don't have any internet. And that's the challenge with these apps, isn't it? You have to have good internet to be able to use them. But Camper Contact is a place to find all the heirs across France. And again, it's free with an optional pay for.
AXI Camping Europe, ACSI.
Yeah, this is a Dutch app, and it's best for discounted campsites across Europe. So off-peak, the campsites are often half price. If you're an AXI member, you'll save the cost. It's like 20 quid, £25, something like that.
For a year?
For a year.
Yeah.
And you'll save that in 2 nights camping easily. I've stayed on a Spanish campsite, had 3 swimming pools, a selection of restaurants. It was beautiful, massive pitches, and I think we were paying €11 a night because we're out of season, but we had an AXI book. But there's now a card and an app. So do check out AXI, a brilliant resource if you're going to Spain.
ACSI.
Yeah.
Yep. Okay, another subject, finding services. I mean, especially, if you've got a little bit of an emergency, you're a bit worried about something, you want to do a check. Petrol prices, first of all.
Yeah, this is a great app for finding the cheapest diesel nearby, especially important these days. We're paying £1 million a litre. It's free. And if you want to know where the cheapest fuel is in your local area, Petrol Prices is the app to go for.
And mylpg.eu. People still using LPG?
They are, yeah. Refillable gas tanks is a thing for the domestic gas. And lots of sites that used to sell gas, they've gone. The site's still there, but they're changing that resource on the forecourt to EV charge points because that real estate is more valuable for people with electric cars because so few of us run gas-powered cars. But in our community, we want to top up our gas bottles or gas tanks so that we can cook and use the heating. mylpg.eu is a great app. It's free and it tells you the location closest to you of the gas and the price. And it's pretty up to date in my experience. So it's a must-have app if you're looking for gas refill sites.
And a lot of people will say, well, how do I know? Where do I get these apps? On an Apple phone, it's in the App Store.
Yep.
And it's a long time since I've had it.
Android is Google Play.
It's still Google Play.
Yeah.
Is it? Yeah, right. Okay. So we've done mylpg.eu. Motorway Services GB. Now, they can be a bit patchy. You can have fabulous ones and you can have not so fabulous ones.
God, so true. And we went in with one the other day. I think it was Corby. We drove in and we were in the motorhome, towing the trailer, going to a show. Absolutely nowhere to park. Now, I'm too big for the car park.
Yeah.
I drove there was a caravan park that was full of coaches and all sorts of things, and went to the HGV park. It was rammed. It was so busy, and we drove out, didn't stop. Went on to the next one. So trying to find this is not reported in the app. It'd be great if it was, but it does tell you. It compares UK motorway services for their facilities, their fuel prices, and what parking options are there. Again, it's free.
Do many have parking for motorhomes?
It's normally labelled caravans.
Oh, is it? So you can't go in the lorry park, for instance?
You can, yeah. I must admit, when I get out, especially at night, I do don a high vis, as most of the truck drivers do, just for my own safety.
Yeah, okay. But nobody's going to chuck you out if you use it?
No, I did once get really told off by a parking attendant for parking in the coach bay in a motorhome.
Yes.
He said, "You're not a coach." I said, "Well, it was completely empty." I said, "No, but I have got 6 seats." Nearly. And he said, "You'll get fined if you park there." I said, "Well, by the services."
Yeah.
By him.
Yeah.
And he's a right little job's worth, I'm not going to lie. And I said, "But it's completely empty. Are you expecting 30 coaches in the next half an hour, which is all I'm going to be here for?" And he said, "Well, you never know, but you're not a coach. Please go and park somewhere." He didn't even say please. He just told me to, "You can't park there, mate." Told me to go somewhere else. So I told him where to go as well.
Came back with a big scratch down the side of your motorhome. A charge map. What's that all about?
Yeah, if you're in an EV car, it's great for finding EV charging locations with user reviews. But I've seen lots and lots of motorhomes starting to use EV charge points for recharging their own electrics. So hooking up.
I bet that annoys the car.
Well,
people,
it depends. I mean,
They need the electricity to actually move, don't they?
Yeah, they do.
Yeah.
Well, I would presume if that was the case, you'd stop and unplug and let them take over. I think that would be reasonable. So, yeah, there needs to be some nice protocol here. But increasingly, I am seeing motorhomers using a EV charge-up cable. We sell one at that leisure shop, and it enables you to plug in and charge your motorhome.
Okay, Flush. Guess what that's for?
This is a useful little app for finding public toilets anywhere. So if you are desperate to go and you don't want to use the toilet in your van, or you haven't got one on board, then Flush is free and a great little app.
Brilliant. Now let's get on to travels and borders.
Yeah.
Okay, what are we talking about? What do you mean travel and borders?
So going abroad. So Google Translate. So this is ideal for instant camera translation of signs and menus, and it's really clever.
Yeah, I was in Spain just a few days ago, and there's loads of Brits. They're not doing just for menus. They're speaking into it and then showing in restaurants. It's quite tiresome. I think really rather rude, to be honest with you. Get yourself a smattering of a foreign language if you're going somewhere.
Well, it depends what you want to ask.
Yeah.
I mean, 2 beers, please, is one thing.
Most of us just use menu English, don't you? Dos cerveza.
And just shout.
Por favor.
I was in China and we lived by Google Translate, and you'd either type what you wanted to ask in and it would translate it immediately, and we just sat there showing each other our phones as we spoke to each other, and I didn't think it was rude at all. It was amazing. I had whole evenings with a group of Chinese people over the course of my time there, and we just relied on Google Translate. It was brilliant, and I have no chance of speaking Chinese, let alone writing it.
And you can trust it. So when you say 2 beers, please, it doesn't say my grandmother wears purple knickers.
Does she?
Yeah.
I heard that you wear them, man. No, I think it was pretty reliable. I mean, the questions they were asking us, some of it came back in what we might call pidgin English, or Chinglish, but we got the gist of it. Yeah, it was really good. But the camera bit, the ability to point it at a sign and that translate it, was invaluable.
That is handy, isn't it?
Yeah, really good.
Le Shuttle.
Yeah, so this is the trains app for going under the water across the Channel to France, and it's an easy app to use. You can manage your booking in it, and you get live travel updates, and your ticket comes to you as a QR code, so it's dead easy when you're going on the train.
Yeah, good tip though, if you've got all your tickets and you haven't printed them out, make sure your phone is fully charged. I'd always print me
I was going to
tickets.
say, when you get an e-ticket for a show or something, we got tickets for theatre recently. My son was in a stage show, and we got the tickets emailed through. Are you like me? Do you print them off?
I do.
So do I. And we arrived and I had them. This QR code was the size of my palm on this print off. And the young lady that was seeing us in, she laughed and said, "Why have you printed it?" I said,
in case your phone goes dead.
Because I'm old. Wow, that's the point.
Yeah.
If your battery died, your phone's off, you're not going in, are you?
No.
But my kids laugh at me because I print them off, but it's our age, I think.
Well, I find all this fiddling with the payment.
Fiddling and faddling.
The payments at
Not
supermarkets.
sitting next to you in the theatre.
Yeah, and tickets takes longer than actually having a piece of paper and handing it over. Yeah, people come in and they're never ready. They're that hasn't worked. Or can you make it larger? Can you make it smaller? Hurry up.
It's an age thing.
Yeah, I think it probably is.
Yeah.
Direct ferries.
Yeah, this is great for comparing ferry prices in one place. So if you're going across the Channel or even further afield, then direct ferries is free as well. So yeah, dead handy.
And Toll Guru.
So
that's, by the way, I'll spell that TOLLGURU.
Yeah, so if you're travelling down through France and you want to work out, I'm going from here to here, what am I going to pay in tolls? Toll Guru is a great little app for telling you, or it estimates the cost of the toll based on the vehicle you're driving. And again, it's free with a premium update option. But yeah, I've used this quite a few times, really handy.
What do the Brits like to talk about more than anything else in the world?
It's the weather.
Yes, there's an app called Windy.
Yeah, I love that. This is a great little app for interactive wind and weather forecasting. We got loads of flags here at the shop, and they're 3 meters tall and a meter wide. And when it gets over 25 mile an hour, they rip. It's really annoying, and we have to replace them. So Windy is a great way of forecasting the weather, and it gives a little alert so we can take the flags down.
Met Office. I must admit, I like the Met Office rain radar a lot. Obviously, it's got forecast in it, but it shows you the path of the rain as it's heading towards you.
And how often is it correct?
It's correct most of the time because I bother to look in advance. So I think, so I look at the map. And then
why would you look at yesterday's weather? You don't need an app for that.
Not yesterday's, an hour ago or 2 hours ago. And if you backtrack on it, the clouds move away so you can see what direction the rain's coming in and whether it's going to come to you, you see.
Clouds do that.
They do, yeah. It's taking the mickey out of me, but I'm right.
I find that all these weather apps are different, so I just go with the one that's the most appropriate weather that I'm looking for. I can't believe you.
The most optimistic one.
Yeah.
Rain today.
This is a great app. So I used to use an app called Rain Alerts that showed the radar of the rain passing over, and I was told about it by a speed camera officer, former police officer that was now holding speed cameras at us. He said, we go where it's dry. So he said, we use this for telling us whether it's going to be rainy. But it stopped working. So Rain Today is one I've been using more and more. And it's brilliant. It only tells you the next hour, but it's live radar of the imminent weather. And when you're somewhere like Scotland, it is imperative that you are checking the weather regularly, especially at season, because it changes. You have 4 seasons in one day easily in Scotland because the weather is so changeable. And for your own safety, it's really important, especially if you've got high winds and rain and hail.
We're recording this close to the longest day, by the way. And did you know that in the far north of Scotland, it never actually gets dark around the longest day?
Yeah.
Down in the south of England, we get 4 or 5 hours of darkness. But in the north of Scotland,
it's true.
Because they're so close to the Arctic Circle,
Been there. Yeah.
midsummer, it never actually gets dark.
And we went to Norway on a cruise a few years ago, and we stood on deck to watch the sunset, and we stood on deck and we stood on deck and the sun
went down and came back up again.
Didn't go anywhere. It literally sat in the sea, and for about an hour and a half we eventually went, it's not going down, is it? And it didn't go dark at all, so we gave up and went to bed.
Now, Rain Today is free, but they do have paid for upgrades on that one.
Yep.
A lot of apps will tell you if that's the case, or they'll put adverts in front of you right at the crucial moment you want the information they're going to give you.
Always.
Yeah. XC Weather.
This was recommended to me by a friend of mine who pilots a little ship, and I think this is common with mariners, and it's lots about sea wave heights and coastal weather particularly. But if you're going to a coast, it's great for telling you the weather, the wind speeds and so on around the coasts.
Let's talk about activities and applications for activities. OS Maps.
So you know the Ordnance Survey maps?
I do.
They're great for planning walking trips. And again, this is free with an optional premium profile if you want it.
Okay. All trails.
Yeah, this is also good for public footpaths and community reviews of them. So they tell you kind of how hard the walk is. And again, free with an optional premium.
Again, Google Maps. It's a really good one. It's always free on your phone.
Yes, absolutely. Great for finding local attractions. Just put in cafe near me or whatever it is you're looking for near me. Bike repair shop near me. We get loads of people coming into that leisure shops in North and South Somerset who've never been here before, and they just search camping shop near me, and they turn up. Yeah, it's brilliant.
Tides near me. That's a useful one, isn't it?
It is, yeah. This is great for working out tide times and for on the beach and coastal walks as well. And again, it's free with an optional charge option too. Particularly
useful if you're anywhere near Weston-super-Mare, because it's the second highest and lowest tidal flow in the world, isn't it?
It is, yeah. I don't know how far the tide travels, but
miles.
You can stand on that beach and not see the sea at all.
Yeah.
Just the mud. Just Weston-super-Mud.
You got it. And don't stand too still because you'll sink. Safer Seas and River Surface. That's a surface against sewage. We all agree with that.
Absolutely. This is brilliant for live water quality and sewage discharge alerts. This is a real thing. Did you see that recent programme on Channel 4?
Yeah.
Shocking.
How do we ever get into this situation?
And if you're going swimming or paddleboarding, this is important. I'm amazed that my kids have never been really ill, because every summer we go to Cornwall, and some of the places were in that programme where they are discharging raw sewage straight onto the beach and into the sea. So we've had a lucky escape, really. But a really good app, and it's free. Go and get it.
Entertainment applications. Audible.
Yeah, love this. If you're a fan of an audio book, then this is a must-have. I pay for the subscription for this. I think it's £8 a month, and I listen to loads of books. I find it hard to read them.
Are we available, the podcast, on Audible?
That's a good question. I don't know.
No, I don't think we are, because they do a lot of paid for. They're
Yeah.
a big company.
We're on Spotify.
And
coming to
Apple
that next.
Podcasts.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But Audible's great for books. You can get free books, but you can pay for it as well and download them. And one book is normally cheaper as an Audible file than it is in paperback or hardback, obviously.
Yeah. Spotify, I'm a big fan of Spotify.
We're on Spotify.
Yeah, we are on Spotify, Motorhome Matt podcast. Spotify got knocked by people who call themselves audiophiles for years because it was putting out its audio at 320 kilobits per second. It's recently upgraded. It's now what's known as lossless. But most people don't have ears that can tell the difference. But I'm a big fan of Spotify. I've got the premium for the family. I think we get 4 or 5 accounts, can't remember which one, double check, for £21 a month. Well, that's the cost of a CD, one CD. And you've got all the music you could ever possibly want.
Absolutely, yeah. I don't have the paid-for version. My kids do. But, yeah, I've got too many kids that I would use up all the subscriptions. Jude has it, but so I get the ads, which are a bit annoying.
Yes.
But
you can get it for free, but you get ads in it. If you
Yeah.
have the premium, in the premium as well, you get podcasts and some books as well.
Well, I tend to listen to books more than I do music these days. Again, I think that's my age. Interesting, isn't it? Here's a good one. Merlin Bird ID. Have you heard of
What's
this?
that?
Do you know what? We discovered this very recently and we've become obsessed. We're on a walk and you can hold your phone out, open the app, hold your phone out, and it just listens to the bird song. And when I wake up now, I've never considered it, but do you know what the first bird to sing in the morning is?
Madonna.
Who? Madonna? You got Spotify on again. Feathered variety.
First bird in the morning, well, named by us, it's the dang rooks.
Is it? Well, by us, and normally about 4:30, 4:45 in the morning, it's the robin.
Is it?
And he's an aggressive, repetitive little bugger.
Yeah.
Honestly, it goes on and on and on. And now, when I'm often woken up by the morning chorus, and you hear the robin, and then you get the blackbirds and all these other strangely named birds that I've never heard of, but you see them everywhere. It's fascinating, and it's become a really interesting project. You can also put where you heard it, and it will then plot where you heard that bird song. And so we're getting birds visiting us at home that are not normally hanging around there, but for some reason they're migrating through where we are. It's fascinating. Really good little app. And it's free.
That's Merlin Bird ID. Sky Guide is good at this time of year at the moment, 2026. Jupiter and Saturn are very much in the night sky.
Yeah.
If you're in the south of England, not in the north of Scotland where it doesn't get dark. It's brilliant, though.
Do you know what I
Sky
love with
Guide.
this? You see a bright star in the sky. You hold your phone up, don't you, and
Yep.
just look at it through your phone. And then you've discovered that you're staring at a planet.
Yes.
I think that's really, it's kind of strangely rewarding. It's like, oh, it's Mars. And I'd tell everyone. See that star?
That's Mars, that is.
That's Mars.
Yeah. My little boy, years ago, he's 21 now, but years ago, came back from school and he said, "Dad, there's no Father Christmas." Henry, his mate, says there's no Father Christmas. And, oh dear, no, not really. I said, yeah. I said, well, who brings all the presents? He said, there is no Father Christmas. The parents bring the presents. Well, I said, that's just complete nonsense. So I used Sky Guide and saw that the International Space Station was going over, and on Christmas Eve I took him out and over it went, and I said, well, how do you explain that then? It's true! That's a great one, Sky Guide.
Poor kid.
Yeah, your favourite TV and film, he was only 17, your favourite TV and film streaming services as well. Make sure you can download offline to save your... Sorry? Download them. So to save your internet. Yeah. Social and trip logging. Trip logging?
Trip logging.
So that'd be in a different category.
For a lump of wood.
Polar steps.
That's really popular, this is brilliant. I've got loads of customers from our storage business sending me their polar step video, and they've suddenly become David Attenborough's on travel, because you can take loads of photos and video footage of where you are, and it does a little plan of your motorhome, like driving along the road on a map. It's really clever. So you can plot the actual route you've been, and then at certain points have a little video entertainment of the things you saw, and it's a great way for sharing with family and friends the trip you've been on and journaling that journey with photos and route tracking. And again, it's free with a charging option.
Van Vibe.
This is a new app. Now, I recently discovered this and I've been talking to Alex, the owner of it. And it's kind of, I best describe it as Instagram for motorhome and campervanners. And specifically so. And it's a great way of connecting with other like-minded people, discovering events and sharing your trips. And you what you can do is you can share photos of your trip. And you can choose if it's private to you or who you want to share it with. You can make it public so everyone can see it, and you can comment on each other's trips. And you can search for destinations. We did this recently, and you can see wherever other people have been and the photos they've taken. It's actually really, really good. Van Vibe, it's brand new. Check it out. We hopefully have got Alex coming in the studio in the future to share more with us about it. So I think it's really, really good.
And it says here it's free.
It is free, yeah. Currently. There may be a charging option if you want it to edit your video, and there'll be other features that it offers. But they will be completely optional, and at the moment it is completely free.
Okay, then. That's just some of the apps, the applications we hope will benefit you. Remember, as I said before, on Apple, it's the App Store, and on Android, as Matt said, it's Google Plays where you find them. They're clearly marked whether they're free, whether they take adverts, or whether there's premium content you need to pay for. Have a play, have a look, and if you've got any questions, you know the place to go.
We have created a free downloadable checklist of all these apps that we've been talking about and more, and you can get that for free. Just head to mhmp.info/apps with 2 P's. That's mhmp.info/apps.
It's the Motorhome Matt podcast with me, Keith Gooden.
And me, Motorhome Matt.
It's brought to you with atleisureShop.com and sponsored by Ripe. Okay, a motorhome and campervan confessions. Before we get to your questions today, we have a new segment, Your Confessions. It's brought to you with Ripe. And we're revealing your embarrassing moments. First up, an anonymous entry. They clearly are too embarrassed. Matt, over to you.
I thought I was basically a pro at reversing my motorhome after one go on the driveway, but I clipped the campsite water tap within 5 minutes of arriving, and I sprayed the pitch next to us too. The husband hasn't trusted me to reverse it since. Not quite the shower they were expecting.
You can submit your campervan confession to us here at mhmp.info/askmatt. That's mhmp.info/askmatt. And remember, you can get 15% off your insurance with Ripe by clicking the link in the description. It's the Q&A, the questions and answers, where you ask the questions, and Motorhome Matt, he will answer you. If he doesn't know, as I say every week, I'll ask somebody who jolly well does. First of all, James Davidson got in touch.
Hi Matt, it's Jim. I took out a policy with Warranty Group Solutions after watching your podcast. It wasn't an inconsiderable sum either, it was quite a lot of money. I've now made a claim due to the bathroom window leaking, only to be told they don't cover windows on motorhomes. Motorhomes are windows, they're everywhere, all over them. And how can they not cover such an important part of a motorhome? I've got to say, I feel misled, not by yourself, but by the company after watching your podcast. And I'm pretty upset that for almost £1,000, they can't cover such an integral part of my motorhome, and are coming up with excuses. And I just thought I'd let you know, because you're putting your name to that company, and I feel they're letting you down as well as me down. Okay, thank you.
Okay, James, thanks very much for that. We're always on your side. We're always on the side of the motorhomer and caravanner. But I must say, read your policy. But Matt, you've got some news for Jim.
I have, yeah. Jim actually emailed me and said he was quite strong, actually. He said he was disgusted that the window leak wasn't going to get paid out for. It's not uncommon, James, for a warranty company not to cover this. Warranty Solutions Group, though, do cover water ingress and consequential damage, which is amazing. I mean, that's not common at all. So I did speak to them on your behalf, Jim, and I'm delighted to say they've had a turnaround. They've listened and they've changed their policy. So they have now agreed that they will cover windows for cracking and glazing, so the fracturing of them.
Yeah, they call it stress cracks and fractures.
That's it, and thus leaks. So Jim, your claim is going to get paid out. I know it wasn't a huge claim, but there's a principle here. So I'm delighted to say that because you've brought it to my attention, we were able to bring it to their attention, and we've affected change. And Warranty Solutions Group have confirmed they are now covering windows, and they are reissuing the warranty guidance book immediately to include that for motorhomes and for caravans. They are now also partners with the Caravan and Motorhome Club as their preferred warranty supplier, and I am their brand ambassador for the motorhome industry, something I'm very proud of. And I wouldn't have done that and agreed to that if they were not a company that I knew would listen and take on board feedback, and where we think it's reasonable that something should be covered, they will agree to do it. They are a fantastic company, and we have an episode coming up with Steph, the group director, and we're going to be talking real turkey about wet belts and so on. So big topics that people have a big fear about not being covered under warranty.
There you go. So I hope that's been of help to you, James. And like I said before, read your policy. David Deere is in Sudbury. Hi, Matt. We didn't use Ripe as it didn't have the choice to select Outsmart the Thief. That's one word. That's why I paused. Outsmart the Thief security system. Also, why don't you... Is that Pilot or Pilot?
Pilot.
Pilot
Yes.
Ford motorhomes have a system of charging the engine battery. The vehicle has to be driven or run for over 30 minutes to get any charge into it. I had to purchase a battery master unit to feed the engine battery from the surplus leisure battery. Love the podcast. That's from Dave and Lynn.
Yep. So Outsmart the Thief is a brilliant security system, but it's not, to my understanding anyway, is not Thatcham approved. Now, Thatcham is the organisation that recognises security systems and the levels of protection they give you, and it's the one that the insurance industry uses. So if there's potentially a better offering than something that's Thatcham, if it's not Thatcham, then it's going to get ignored, and that's what's happened here. So I don't know why Outsmart the Thief are not Thatcham approved. Perhaps you do. Perhaps they would come on and tell me why. So if you're listening, then do get in touch. That is the reason why. And in terms of the Battery Master, you're right. This is a common frustration for Pilot owners, and I don't have the answer. I don't know why the French manufacturers at Pilot do not fit the ability to have a battery-to-battery charge system. The number of part exchanges we get here, or vehicles offered to us to sell, that have aftermarket fitted after they bought it, had to go and get an aftermarket system. It's really annoying. And if you've got a Pilot and you're finding your starter batteries going flat, or your leisure batteries going flat, it will be because you haven't got a Battery Master. You'll need to get one.
And as you said before, people do underestimate when that starter motor sucks a lot of energy out of a battery, doesn't it? And as you always say, 30 to 40 minutes driving around to recharge it. You can't just leave it on the drive for 10 minutes, can you? Thanks very much, David, and much appreciated. Brent Westbrook is in talking. That sounds like a secret agent to me.
Brent Westbrook.
Hi, Brent Westbrook here from Torquay.
That's less secret agent.
I have a Gasset underslung gas tank system of 40 kilograms. It has an external barbecue point at the back of the van. I bought a barbecue that normally uses screw-top propane canisters, so I bought an adapter to permit the outlet union mate with the screw-in feed. However, it won't light.
Right.
The pressure is way too low, but it's fine with the propane canister. Is there a particular type of barbecue that works with an external gas point?
There is, yeah. I mean, most should. It's a drop of pressure for some reason. It could be because you've got an adapter. I'd be really careful doing this, I'll be honest.
And he doesn't say whether it's a full gas canister either, does he?
That may be the issue, that the gas bottle on the van is getting empty and the pressure drops. That could be the issue. It could be that the gas feed, the length of pipe from the gas bottle to the barbecue point is just too long. And that will mean there's a pressure drop. I would make sure the barbecue point on the van has been properly installed. There's no kinks in the pipe. That could be an issue. So on the back of them, sometimes the pipe goes 90 degrees and that can pinch it and bend it, and that can lower the pressure as well. My advice would go to an approved workshop and get this looked at by someone trusted, regulated by the NCC, the approved workshop scheme, or the MCEA, Motor Caravanners Engineers Association, station and get one of their guys to have a look at it. If you're coming up to Bristol Way, MJB Tourist Services I might go to, or Bristol Caravans in North Bristol if you're passing up the A38 or the M5. But get someone to look at it who knows what they're doing.
Yeah, and I must say as well, you're dealing with gas here, so don't fiddle with it yourself.
No,
as Matt says, you need an expert.
Yeah, and there's a number of types of gas barbecue point: Truma, Bullfinch. And make sure it's one of those approved ones, and buy the correct connector that goes straight to it and fit that to your barbecue. Don't be using adapters.
So how do people get in touch with us, Matt?
We'd love it if you did. Yeah, please head to mhmp.info/ask Matt. You can record your question on the orange button. Please tell us where in the world you are, because we love to know, or fill in the form and we'll read it for you. Mention Maddie, you'll probably get included.
Yeah, Caddy Maddie.
Caddy Maddie,
Yep.
she's known now, and she's loving it.
You can join our new Facebook group. It's called Chat with Motorhome Matt. It's
Yes.
at mhmp.info/chat. That's mhmp.info/chat. Do you actually go on there?
I'm on there pretty much every day. Yeah.
Right.
I don't always comment because it can be an absolute time drain and you can get drawn in some rabbit holes, but it's a great way of getting a message to me. And Maddie's on there as well, keeping an eye on posts. There's one golden rule that people keep breaking.
Keeple.
Keeple.
Graping.
Oh, Keeple, he's
Yeah.
terrible. Is no self-promotion. So if you're a business on there, you're very, very welcome. We would love to have you in the group, but please no advertising for what you're doing. If you're going to a show or selling something, it will just mean that people leave. So your post will get removed, and we are starting to introduce a 3-strike rule, and then we kick you out. So behave. But yeah, we'd love it if you joined us there, mhmp.info/chat. As we always ask you, if you're listening, please follow on your favourite podcast app, or if you're watching on YouTube, click subscribe and the little bell.